In this case, and thanks to blockchain, an investor only has to hold the token for 1 year. There's a 1 year minimum lockup. Can trade these tokens on in the secondary market. If you're making 10% per annum like clockwork, and you have sufficient coverage as far as protecting the investment with the actual assets.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the next issue of Stobox Interviews. Our new guest is another client who recently went live using Stobox Dashboard. Meet Demetrius Ford, managing partner at Randolph and Main Capital Group. Demetrius and his team are offering a unique opportunity to invest alongside world's top investment institutions. Demetrius, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Boris. Thanks for having me.
Before we proceed, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss other opportunities that we review on this channel, as well as insights about the crypto market from top experts and builders. Now, let's get down to business. Demetrius, please present your project and your token to our viewers.
Sure, thank you. Randolph and Main Capital Group is the name of our company, our parent company. And the company that we launched the STO through your platform is called RMCG Digital Holdings. That company, it was set up to invest in the real estate investment funds managed by two of some of the largest developers in the country. I have a very close relationship with both developers. And we intend to invest $50 million into each of their funds. We're offering debt, tokenized debt. We're paying 10% per annum over a 5-year life of the tokens. So that results in about a 50% return on investment to the investor. Very, very de-risked opportunity in that the tokens will be secured by the actual assets of the real estate that we're investing in. And those projects right now are valued north of $10 billion US.
That's a fascinating return. So thank you for that great summary. And 10% on the debt instrument in the current market is a very strong return. So could you please tell our viewers more about how are you able to provide such returns on investing in these underlying funds?
Sure. Again, these developers are very, very successful in the United States. One of the developers actually is developing a pretty large project in Puerto Rico. But they have been basically, doing this for more than 30 years. Again, very successful. And we believe that their average return on investment over this period of time is very, very sufficient enough to give us a lot of cushion, if you will, in terms of the safety of the investment. So we're very confident in our ability to be able to return 10% per annum to our token holders, who we will look to as finance partners in our projects.
The big aspect of delivering the returns and generally the success of the project is the high quality team running it. So could you please tell us about your background and the background of your key team members?
Sure. Myself and one of my partners, Anthony Morgenthau, we've been in the investment banking space for about 30 years. Me personally, Anthony's been in the business probably another 20 years on top of that. So our focus has always been on raising capital for public and private entities. Nathan Burrell, who basically got me involved in this project, he's in real estate. He's a real estate broker here in the United States, understands the entire real estate market domestically here. And we're very excited about the evolution of blockchain as it relates to real estate transactions. But as far as managing the real estate side of things, again, our business model is one where we partner with developers that have been doing this for quite a while, and they will actually be managing the entire operation from the real estate standpoint. So all we do really is identify the right investors, the right finance partners. We pool all of that capital together, which will allow the average individual investor access to projects that normally require somewhere north of $10 million just to meet the minimum investment requirement for a lot of these developers. So by pooling the aggregate of $100 million, we allow, or we make it possible for people that would normally be locked out of these lucrative opportunities to actually participate. So we're very excited about basically allowing the little guy to get in by leveling the playing field in this way.
It's great to see on practice how blockchain really brings this decentralization and increased access, because even though there is a lot of talk about that, there are many limitations on practice. And you've seen markets, even in mainstream cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, being dominated by whales. So it's great to see some fresh air, and how new projects are inspiring new life into the idea of giving more power and more access to the community. So we are proud to assist you in making this project go live. Moving on with our interview, could you please tell our viewers about the risks involved in this project? Because obviously they are reduced compared to the average investment given the quality of the developer and the underlying real estate, but probably any project includes some, and the viewers also should be aware of them to make a justified decision.
Sure. Well, when you talk about risk in real estate, typically most people look at real estate as a lot less risk than, say, the stock market, and that's generally true. But there's still risk when you're investing alongside developers who have to build a project and then sell that project. In our case, we believe the risk is minimized because of the diversification aspect of our model. Unlike investing in a single property where anything could go wrong there, you can have environmental issues, you can have pest damage, you can have a natural disaster that wipes the property out. Our investment dollars will go into funds that have a lot of different projects underway. So if one has a problem, the others will pick up the slack. So we think that although there is the risk that the world has this global recession thing, and interest rates continue to rise, which would kind of slow down the rate that individual properties are being bought and sold. But in this case, the types of properties that we're investing in are multi-use properties where you have the living space, you have entertainment, you have shopping, you have a lot going on in a single location. We also have, with one of our developers, we have access to public-private partnership deals where the federal or state or local governments basically bring our development partner in to do revitalization projects, urban development, where the government foots a lot of that bill in terms of providing land and streamlining the processes of getting everything approved and that type of thing. So we believe we partnered with the right individual or developers that have sufficient diversification in the projects, but also have substantial track records in seeing projects from groundbreaking to full sale. So we're excited. we think that we put together a package of investments that offer tremendous upside but very little risk.
It's actually quite rare and quite interesting to see the projects with such a good ratio of return to risk. And probably it will be even more relevant in the coming years when given the inflation, given the fallout of the pandemic, and now the new war, we are probably going to see even slower economic growth and probably slower growth in the stock market as well after the money printing machine has become not that active. Therefore, having alternative opportunities to deliver very strong returns at a reasonable risk is especially important for smart investors who want to maximize their returns and make their money work and not simply suffer and being lost due to the inflation. But probably one of the important aspects of this offering is not only the benefits of the underlying fund and the instrument, but also the benefits of the technology and the liquidity that comes with the blockchain. So could you please speak a bit about this side of things, about the liquidity and how investors can trade the tokens and exit early?
Sure. And that's one of the main reasons we decided to go down this path with tokenization and blockchain. Up until just a few years ago, real estate has always been considered a very illiquid investment. Returns are not achieved until an actual sale of the asset. In this case, and thanks to blockchain, an investor only has to hold the token for 1 year. There's a 1-year minimum lockup. But over the course of the next 4 years, that investor, if he has the need for some liquidity, can trade these tokens in the secondary market. That's the holy grail right now of real estate. I mean, the fact that we can allow average investors as little as $1,000 to invest alongside some of the biggest real estate financiers on the planet, without having to meet those minimum investment requirements is huge. But also being able to sell that token and get out of the investment early is an added benefit. But the way I look at that is it's, we give that option. It's not something that we expect a lot of investors to do, because if it's working, if it's not broken, why fix it? If you're making 10% per annum like clockwork, and you have sufficient coverage as far as protecting the investment with the actual assets, why would, unless you have some sort of emergency where you have to raise liquidity, why would you even want to get out? But the good news there is there's that opportunity. You can get out if you need to, thanks to blockchain.
Could you please tell us more about your long-term plans? So are you planning any next projects after this one is successful? Have first investors already benefited from working with RMCG?
Yeah, Boris, this is the first of what we believe to be many opportunities similar to this. The first fund obviously is a debt-based fund. Our next fund will probably be more of an equity structure. But we're raising $100 million at the end of 5 years. We're looking to pay out $150 million to our investors. And we believe that type of return will lure those investors back to our next generation of funds that should follow. So this isn't going to be a one and done situation for us. We expect to be a major player in real estate as it relates to blockchain. We want to be one of the first movers, but also one of the leaders in the space.
It's great to hear that you're having a long-term strategy, and probably inspires even more confidence in investors, because you have incentives to do it right in order for your long-term plans to be implementable. So it's also good to hear. Do you have any benefits for early investors coming in your fund?
Sure. We have a tiered discount structure. The first 10 million US dollars to come in will receive a 15% discount on the token. So instead of paying $1, they'll be able to acquire the tokens at 85 cents. The next 15 million that comes in will be sold at a 10% discount. So that'll be 90 cents per token instead of $1. What that effectively does is it increases the yield to those fortunate early investors. So instead of 10% on the first 10 million, it's 11.5%. And on the second 15 million, it would be 11%. So it would be very prudent, very smart if an investor can get into the deal early.
It's probably a big benefit to the viewers of this interview that they will have a chance to be some of the early investors and get those early bird discounts. To finish off this interview, Demetrius, could you please summarize the reasons for investors to be excited about RMCG token?
I would say one of the reasons would be, the type of return with the safety it provides, in a period in time where the outsized gains that the stock market has provided over the last few years, those days are pretty much gone for now. So where do you put your money? I think you put it somewhere like this, where you have safety, you have liquidity, you have an above average rate of return that's secured by substantial real estate assets, and the types of properties. And the investors, once they start to dig into this and they go onto the platform and you can actually see who our developer partners are. I won't mention the names here, but once the qualified investors get to that point where they can actually see the types of properties that we're investing in, it's going to be exciting, to see. So, there's a lot of reason to be excited about this, but the main reason is we're talking institutional quality real estate, very, very highly sought after, in some of the best locations geographically in the United States, built and managed by some of the best developers. So very, very exciting opportunity.
Thank you for this summary, and I'm glad that such opportunities are available now. And thank you for the interview and presenting this to our viewers.
Thank you so much, Boris. And I want to also give a shout out to your entire team, everything you've done to help us along the way. You've been top notch from start to finish. And we look forward to working with Stobox for many years to come.
Thank you, Demetrius. I appreciate it. If you want to find out more about the RMCG token, please go to their website using the link in the description. And please remember that this video is not an investment advice. So you need to, before doing any kind of investment, you need to evaluate it properly and consider all of the possible risks. Please also don't forget to subscribe to this channel to learn more about the recent trends on the crypto and financial markets, to be able to assess different investment opportunities and find out about even more. Stay tuned and see you in the next episode.